It's all good. Hello, everyone. I am so lucky to be coming to you again to introduce you to another amazing presenter within the summit. So we're talking health coaching tonight. But before I introduce Lynda Rose to you, who is a nutrition and a health coach, I just wanted to let you know that Monday, the 15th of August, is the last day you can take the early bird price if you're interested in buying the summit. I mean, incredible value really for such a small amount of money, $49 AUD. It goes up to $69 after Monday. So if you are interested in purchasing the summit, please do so before Monday. It's all coming together beautifully. I'm really, really excited to be bringing this for you. And as I said, when I started low carb about 10 years ago, I would have loved something like this. It really would have made my journey a lot easier, but I get to bring it for you. So I'm going to bring in now Lynda. Hello, Lynda.
Hello. How are you? Thanks, Tracey.
Look, no worries. It's lovely. I know you've just come in from work and the grandchildren have just come over and, everything's all happening, but you're here. And I'm really grateful, Lynda, that, for our connection and, what we've really learned from each other in the coaching space, and really what you're going to be bringing to the summit is the stuff I think really makes a difference. I think the coaching side of things is so, so important because it really helps people to, light up the path on the journey, because it can be so overwhelming, can't it, when we first start?
Yes, definitely. And I think, like you said in your opening few words, if this had been around 10 years ago, how much more we would know than waiting to learn more as we go.
Yeah, don't worry if they come in, it's live. So my question for you to share with everybody is, what actually brought you into the low carb space?
Okay, so back in 2011, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that's pretty much what brought me into the mindset of finding out about how to nourish my body and why did I get lymphoma. Really, that was the opening, I guess, segue into my low-carb lifestyle. Yep.
So how long ago was that?
2011, so 10 years, 11 years now.
Yeah, right.
Time flies, doesn't it?
And it does. And of course, like so many, certainly coaches in the space, this personal journey has obviously led you down a path of wanting to help others, use low carb as an option. So what made you then get into coaching?
I think because I realized that holistically we are one, and it's not only about what you put in your body, it's about what you put in your mind. It's about your home environment, who you mix with, who you speak with. So, of course, that then led me to discover Paul Chek, who runs a holistic coaching academy out of the US. So I did a lot of his courses and spent a fair bit of time over the other side of Australia, over on the East Coast. And began to realize that to connect the dots, to connect the mindset and the emotional side and the food intake, I needed to just learn as much as I could, because that's the essence of what this lifestyle is for me.
I think I resonate with that so much too. We all have our personal journey, and see what works for us. But I think when you get into the coaching space, you realize that, hang on a minute, there's actually many pathways and many ways and many things to consider that, may not have been a part of your journey. But of course, as a coach, we have to put it all sort of on the table and show people what all the options are, and how to, navigate the pitfalls and navigate the food environment we live in. There's so many, obviously, obstacles and things like that. And, that led me as well down to really just learning. Like I think you learn like this much when you do some sort of coaching qualification. And when you actually then sit in front of people, it's kind of like, wow, you learn so much more.
As women together, we all share. We're all more able to share. And it's probably not really fair to say, so it's a very general statement. Most of the women that I find in this space are very in touch with their inner self, with their intuition and their psyche, for want of a better word. So that's been really powerful for me to have all of that collaboration of female energy sharing what we know for each other, encouraging each other and building each other up.
I think I've seen that too. And I think part of that is, we've got ketones fueling our brains. That's a big part of it. But yeah, of course, the support is, it's so much better to do that. And that's definitely something I've experienced in the low carb space as well. And obviously why I love bringing people together. So your summit talk is along the lines of coaching you to optimal health. So do you want to share a little bit about what people might gain from watching your summit presentation?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I know for me, when you first enter the low carb space, there's so much information out there, and sifting through what you need to have for you, because we're all so different, finding what works for you, what kind of foods resonate with you, how you might need to fix your mindset up. As a beginner, you can stumble along the way. And if you have someone to hold your hand, just speak to you about, your thoughts. Have you thought of this? Do you know about that? What about this food? Have you just where to source things from, how to read labels in the shops to know that you're not overdoing your carb count, and keeping yourself healthy is pretty much where I'm at with my talk for the presentation.
So just some really practical
everyone
stuff.
To take baby steps and not to get too overwhelmed, because it's not a low carb lifestyle isn't a 6-week fix you up, you're done. It's a lifestyle. And I was talking to a colleague the other day, and we talked about how it's not a diet. You don't go on a diet. You go down a lifestyle pathway, and that pathway for you will be different to somebody else. And it's just having that inner strength and inner knowing and support along the way to know that you're doing the right thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely where the benefits come. I think people understandably, set foot into this sort of space with that diet mindset, because I think, that's kind of been what we've been taught too, hasn't it? And of course nothing's worked, or if it's worked for a short time. And, we've all been there. And I think, over time, just seeing that fall away is so freeing, that we, and I've always said that this lifestyle is the final frontier. Like you can come into this and really nail it, and you'll never have to diet again. I mean, what a sense of freedom.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. Absolutely. And that's what the low carb lifestyle gives you, is that sense of freedom and that surety that you're on the path doing your right thing for yourself.
And your grandchildren.
Oh, my Lord.
I love it. Would you want to so we were going to have a bit of a joint chat today. So I thought, given the chance of chatting with you, we're such great colleagues, and maybe you would could ask me a little bit about mine. I'm obviously not going to do my own live about my presentation, but do you want me to share a little bit about
Sure,
that?
I do, Tracey, because your presentation is really intriguing me, the art of keeping motivated. So how did you get into the lifestyle anyhow in the first place? What was your step into the low carb way of living?
Well, I will answer that, but I have changed my summit talk. So
have you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to cover motivation, but it's a lot more around confidence.
Oh, okay.
So, yes. So my topic is women and confidence, breaking the insecure habit, because I really, you know what it's like as a health coach. We could have picked anything. Like, there's so many different topic areas that, we're passionate about showing people something new around. And I started around that kind of motivation, and, I definitely will, as I said, will bring stuff in like that. But I decided in the end to talk about confidence, because I think that most of us look for it in the wrong direction. And I think you see it as something that fundamentally gets in the way of us really nailing, our health goals. But in terms of my journey into the low carb space, that happened nearly 10 years ago. I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic and fatty liver, and I was a fat personal trainer, and, pretty horrified really at what was happening to me once I turned 40. And from there, I just sort of thought, this isn't right. I'm doing everything right. I did, wasn't, it wasn't like I didn't eat processed foods. I certainly did, certainly binged on that every now and again. But I thought I was eating pretty healthy, porridge for breakfast and the sandwich and, low fat everything. And, I was like most people eating that way. I was perpetually hungry and just always thinking about food and gaining weight and exercising. And that was the start of my journey. I was shocked at the state of my health, not really surprised given my family history of that. But that started me down the path. It was sugar first and then low carb and Prof Noakes, and kind of navigated my way along that for a couple of years, and then decided to get into the health coaching. And that's kind of mirrored a lot of my my personal journey as well. What I've seen, what I've learned from my clients, what we've learned together, where I've seen that I haven't been able to help. What are the puzzle pieces missing that I just couldn't understand, certain things, certainly around emotional eating and that type of thing, and stress eating. And I really wanted to find some answers with that. And then, like 45, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. And I think that has been the best thing that ever happened to me, that propelled me really down the path of doing the inner work that you talked about, really healing from within. The diet was pretty much there, but I needed to do the other stuff.
Yeah. I feel like the confidence part is really, really important, because we've all, I don't know, as another general statement, we've all pretty much been told to follow the rules of, the Australian food guidelines, follow your doctor's instructions. When you get to this age, you might need this, you might need that, but having the confidence to look beyond all of those parameters that we're squashed into, and knowing, I guess, again, your inner self, having that confidence to find your way through the maze is really, really important. And that confidence sometimes doesn't come easily. So how do you overcome that?
Well, you'll have to come and watch my presentation.
Watch your presentation.
Yeah. But look, the thing is, I think there's a few things in there. I think we look in the wrong direction for confidence. We're often looking for it as a feeling, we're looking for that feeling to move, or we're looking for that, lack of fear, any fear of failure, or, not feeling any fear. And I think then what happens is it shows up in our behavior as an unwillingness to really do what matters. So we might come across something like low carb, but of course it butts up against so many of the things we believe about nutrition. And because we lack the confidence to kind of move forward anyway towards where we want to go, it looks, we kind of stay stuck and we stay still and we wait for a feeling that is, we think will propel us forward. But but it's interesting though, because prior to the 1970s, that's not what confidence was actually, seen as. It was, well,
everything's changed since the 70s.
Everything, and that's a really interesting point. It has. And I think when you talk about confidence, confides is where it comes from, the word confides. And it actually was much more about having that inner trust in yourself to deal with anything that came up on the way. You may not know how it was going to turn out, but you were willing to step in that direction and know that you had whatever you needed inside to deal with it along the way.
Safety.
Yeah. Because I think, self-doubt's built into the human experience. Every single person experiences self-doubt, but we tend to sit in that, it's just me and what's wrong with me? Oh, no, I need more courses, or I need more this, or I need to wait until I've got that feeling. Well, unfortunately, life passes us by and we miss out on doing so much, and we miss out on achieving our goals much sooner than we would if we knew that we didn't have to wait for a feeling. We could still move, we can still act. And it's much more about aligning the way we want to head to our values and our value systems.
Cool. Sounds lovely.
Yeah,
sounds
that's what I'm going to talk about. Well, it's been really hugely impactful for me. I mean, if you look at the work that I do in the space, I had massive imposter syndrome, and I told Jane Bullen that I'm going to mention her in my talk because she was someone, when I was asked to be involved in the Nutrition Network last year with the coach certification program, I had massive imposter syndrome, like huge. And there were some things she said to me that, really helped propel me to see that, I didn't have to wait for a feeling, that, I could move forward and trust myself and know that, yes, it might feel scary, and yes, it might feel uncomfortable, but that's all right. So what? It can't hurt us, and the only thing that tends to hurt us is when we don't move.
Yeah.
Well, it is a big part. It's kind of like that. And I think it's just knowing that it's normal. It's you're feeling the fear, but it's nothing wrong with the fear. That's just a normal part of our brain. And
is it fair to say that we always want to have the perfect outcome, or how we see the perfect package presented to us before we move forwards, but it's not necessary to have it perfect, because my perfect and your perfect are so different anyhow.
Totally different. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a made up myth that we all have their own version of what that is. But again, it comes back to our brain trying to protect us. And, while that may have been helpful in a tribal, world that our brain still resides in the modern world, it looks like, keeping us stuck and keeping us small and keeping us really from living the life that we want to live. So my talk will be really aimed at everybody, whether you are a practitioner or a coach in the space wanting to really get your message out there, which we know is really important, or if you are someone, wanting to find or waiting to find the courage to move forward to change your lifestyle, it'll help with all of that really.
Can't wait to hear them all the talks. They're all going to be so interesting.
They are going to be so interesting. So I'm going to let you go back to your beautiful grandbabies, and thank you for.
Home. They've just gone
home.
I've given up waiting for Nanny.
Oh, it was only 20 minutes.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they don't last long when they're two.
Oh, no, that's true. That's true. And Perth time, it's 5:20, so it's time to get home for a bath and all that, and dinner.
End of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my darling, it was lovely to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
everything.
Our catch up. Yeah, we'll have a big chat again soon.
We will. And thanks, everyone. See you later.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye-bye.